Outwardly, I would say, oh yes, we want to have children. But internally, I had all kind of contradictory thoughts about motherhood. I was not sure if I would really like it so much. I was like, okay, nature made the decision for me. Maybe I'm not meant to be a mom. This is but 41. But once I took the pressure off of myself, I did not have the outside pressure of doctors telling me I have to do this now, and I get pregnant instantly at 43.
Bettina, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me, Jamie.
Today we are sharing Bettina's story at 44. But before we get started, Bettina, will you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yes, of course. So I'm one of the million women in our day and age who come to motherhood a little bit later in life. So I was 44, but I'm also the third generation of women in my family who
Oh,
have the children in their 40s.
that's awesome.
So I can speak to it from the mother, but also as a daughter of a woman who had me in the 40s. And professionally, I am a journalist by trade.
Tell us how it all got started.
Yeah, it's very funny actually that I became a later mother because for the life of me, for the longest time, I could not make up my mind if I want to become a mother or not.
Oh,
I had a very rich life before I became even a wife. I was born and raised in Vienna, Austria, and then in my mid-20s, I left to make a life as a journalist in New York City.
oh,
And
wow.
so, yeah, in Manhattan, I built up the office for the magazine that I was working for, became what's called a foreign correspondent, and I had a lovely life, very full. I was dating in New York City back then. It was not an easy place to date. I did not find the partner that I wanted to be spending the rest of my life with. Yeah. So I was looking for love rather than settling with somebody that I was not 100% sure of. I did not meet Joshua until I was 36, and then at 38 we got married. He's a little bit younger than I am. And I just figured up until this point, I love children, especially little children. However, I never had the need to have them on my own. Not just with a partner, but I never had the need to be a mother. Then when Joshua and I got married, I figured, okay, he will be the driving force. He will make the decision for me. He will be the one saying, yeah, oh yeah, let's have babies now. But he didn't either. So we were two ambivalent people coming together. So after about 2 years of marriage, I turned 40 and Joshua said, so maybe we should give it a try. And we did. And Jamie, for a whole year, we did not use any contraceptives and nothing happened.
Ugh.
Yeah. A year of unprotected sex, nothing happened. But here's the interesting part. Outwardly, I would say, oh yes, we want to have children. Oh yes, yeah, we want to be parents. But internally, I had all kind of contradictory thoughts about motherhood. I was not sure if I would really like it so much. I was not sure, do I feel that I should become a mother because society expected from me, my mother expected from me, because it is weird to be in your 40s to not have a child. I had like all kind of different thoughts going on
Mhm.
inside of me that after the year when nothing happened, I was not heartbroken. I was almost like, huh, okay, nature made the decision for me, more or less. I thought, okay, so maybe I'm not meant to be a mom. This is, but 41, I said to Joshua, maybe this is not the right thing for us to do. Let's just stay together without a child. And here there are two important things in this juncture. A, I said that out loud. Let's not do that. So I took the pressure off of myself. I took the pressure off of myself. And even though a whole year had gone by, we did not go and seek a fertility specialist.
Okay.
Because if we would have talked to doctors, they would have immediately said, no, hey, you're wasting time. You need to do something now. It's like, it's precious. Every month counts. So we did not have that pressure either. Not from me internally or anybody else externally. That's why I know in hindsight that how important it is to think about time not as your foe, but potentially as your friend. Because once I took the pressure off of myself, I thought about, okay, what would I like to do with my life? For example, I needed to switch jobs because the one that I was doing was not working anymore. For me, I didn't like it. Yeah. So I switched things around in my life. My husband got used to the idea. He was like, at some point he came around and said, yeah, okay, fine, then we don't have kids. So I gave myself some time, considerable, like almost 2 years time of doing other things. Yeah. And while my husband got used to the idea of not having children, for me internally, it was still there. The idea was maybe I should, maybe I should, maybe I should. But in those 2 years, I worked out my crazy contradictory thoughts. Yeah. I worked on changing career that I felt I was stuck in and did something that I really enjoyed again. We got a dog. So I could see, oh, my husband is actually a really great caretaker. We changed things on many levels. I kid you not, after 2 years, I came to this place where, oh my God, now I'm ready. At 43. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah. So I'm not saying anybody should take that long time like I did. Yeah. But working out those kinks in the relationship, those kinks in my own thought process, those kinks in whatever, wherever in your life is really important because once I was ready, Jamie, I was ready. My biggest fear was always I would lose my freedom. Freedom is a big value of mine. It's like the number one value. I was always afraid that I would lose it. Then in March of 2013, so 13 years ago, February, I read a story about a woman. She wrote a very empowering piece in Huffington Post. She wrote in her mid 60s, she never had children, and it's a Tuesday morning, and she can go up to hike on a mountain because there's nobody that she has to go back to, take care of, and do all of these things. And for her, it was very empowering that she, on a Tuesday afternoon, she could go and live her free life. I read that and I thought, oh wow, because I worked as a freelancer. Yeah, so I already designed my life for freedom. So at 43, looking back, I already designed my life for 20 years of more freedom. And I thought, oh my God, in another 20 years from now, when I'm 63, if I don't have to show more for my life than freedom, then I didn't do it well. And somehow that was just the one thing that brought me over that hump. And that was extremely clear. That was the straw that broke the camel's back, or what is the expression?
The tipping point?
The tipping point. Yeah, that's much better. Yeah. The tipping point is like, yes, I want. And then, because it's been a while, what I did instinctively, I think I upped the ante in really eating super well. I took a lot of walks. I was in nature a lot. Yeah. I did some kind of detox when Joshua and I said, okay, we would like to try. I got pregnant at 43. So 3 years later, after we tried first, nothing happened for a year and I get pregnant instantly.
It's almost once you made the decision, right?
Yes, Jamie. This is why, in hindsight, listen, could this have been a coincidence? Yes, of course it could be. But what if it's not a coincidence?
Yeah.
That's what I always wondered because I took the pressure off of myself. I did not have the outside pressure of doctors telling me I have to do this now and the next round and the next thing and the next thing. I had no pressure. I mentioned at the beginning, I'm third generation of women having the children in the 40s. And because of that, I had not asked my phone. I never put into the phone, oh, pregnancy over 35, pregnancy over 40. I did not know the narrative that is out there. I didn't.
That makes a big difference.
It makes, I think, a boatload, maybe even all the difference.
Yeah.
So for me, when I got pregnant, it's almost less about what I did, but what I didn't do. And what I did not do, I was not afraid of my age.
Yeah.
Because nobody had told me yet that it's going to be difficult, that it's going to be hard, that it's most likely that I most likely can't do it, and so on.
Yeah.
That is why I am a firm believer. And by the way, I became a mental strength trainer. I found out at the end of my education to become a mental strength trainer. I did that in Europe, the education, and that was in Italy. I found out that I'm pregnant at the end of that education because instinctively I knew there's something about, especially with me, where the mindset and my contradictory thoughts and the stress I had for that year that we tried
Yeah.
made it more difficult, or in that case, impossible to even get pregnant. So instinctively, I knew that the mind-body connection is so strong that I wanted to know about more how the mind works and how it really influences our bodies. Yeah. That
Yeah.
I even became a trainer. I got an education
Yeah. That's
in
awesome.
in that field because I feel it's super, super important to any of our listeners to not be afraid of age.
I would love to know what your mom said to you. And did she pressure you, or what did she say about your age and motherhood?
My mom,
Yeah.
because she was in her 40s when she had me, yeah, she could hardly put any pressure on me, yeah, and she didn't. And also, she and I, we butted heads a lot. She knew that it would not fly if she would pressure me. But I know that others could easily feel, or sometimes there are so many reasons why we want to become moms. I think when we get older, I thought about these a lot. Yeah. Do I want to become? So my mother, she never pressured me. She was
Mhm.
just super when we finally told her I'm pregnant. She was like out of this world happy. So she became finally a grandmother in her 80s. Yeah. So she was super, super happy about it. The pressure did not come from her. But for example, I could see, so I was in my early 40s, that some people, even my beloved cousin, who is my age, yeah, she let it slip once. She just made a remark that made me realize, oh, she feels a little sorry for me that I don't have children.
Mm.
She loves me. She just, something slipped. It slipped, just a slip of the tongue, but then it made me realize, oh, she feels a little sorry for me. Yeah.
Mm.
So I really looked at this, but I also felt like this is my choice. I have the right to not want to have children.
Yeah, sure.
So it's like my heart beats for both sides, so to speak, because I understand that will of I'm fine. I'm whole. I'm good. You don't need to pity me because I'm really good. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is your thing, not mine. We're not going to have children. It's just for me internally, the wish for a motherhood did not go away.
Yeah.
That's why I came back to it. But
Yeah.
my parents, maybe this is a good segue because if you are older and your mom, for example, had a child much earlier in life, we very often feel the pressure. Oh, my mom, she was 20 something. Yeah.
We do. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. To do like your mom, it's out of love, out of whatever, you feel a lot older. And I didn't have that because my parents were in the 40s. And I had seen how young I kept them. My parents were really awesome because they made friends with the parents of my school friends. So automatically, the other parents, they were 10, 15 years younger than my parents, but my parents always kept up. My parents always did the same thing. If they scheduled a hike up the mountain where I grew up in Austria, they had vineyards, it's beautiful, and you just hike up the mountain. My parents were always with them. There was never oh, we are so much older, we don't do that anymore. So I also knew that when you are older, there is really no guarantee that if you have your child early in life, that you will have more time. We now know, science tells us that the women that have children later in life, like mid 30s and later,
Mhm.
have a much higher chance to live to 100.
Yeah. I've seen that a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So that age thing was not a big deal for me.
Okay. How long were you trying before you got pregnant?
We did the 1 year from 40 to 41.
What led you to believe that you were pregnant? Were you just late on your cycle?
Yes, I don't know, I felt like I would be pregnant. That is a very good question. I felt like I would be pregnant. It worked. It was just like a feeling. And then, this is typical me. So I had just finished the education to the Mind Master training. That was in Italy, in northern Tyrol, in the Alps. I had stayed with a friend for a couple of days before I was going back to Austria, and I felt I'm pregnant. and I had a pregnancy test. But instead of doing it at my friend's house, I took it. We were supposed to, and we did go up, take a gondola up on the mountain. It's the highest mountain there. It's called the Horn, and you stand up there and you have a 360-degree view
Oh
of
my
the
gosh.
Alps all around you. Yeah. And I thought, no, I'm not going to take the test down here. My husband wasn't with me anyway. I took the test up the Alp, yeah, the gondola up, and there's a 100-year-old hut that
Uh-huh.
used to be for the, what is the English word when the people that take care of the animals in the summer up on in the Alps? Anyway, it was one of those huts, and in the hut, I took my pregnancy test and I found out I'm pregnant up there on the Horn.
What a great place to take a pregnancy test.
Oh my God, it was the best. I got the best pictures with the Alps in the back. And my friend, she was also a later mom. She had hers in her late 30s, early 40s. She was so happy. And yeah, this is how I found out I'm pregnant. And I didn't tell my husband for 10 days.
What were you thinking when you saw the test?
It was interesting. I was extremely happy, but remember, I had been so ambivalent. Do I want to become a mother or not?
Hmm?
That on one hand, I was super happy, but then I really said to Brigitte, my friend, I said, let me just sit here a little longer. I sat down, looked all around me. It was super majestic. It was just unbelievable. But was listening inside of me. Am I really happy now? Or is there any kind of doubt? It was just happiness.
Oh,
Hmm.
yeah. Why did you wait 10 days to tell your
Well,
husband?
because I make a big deal out of things. Because I was like, I don't know, because I wanted to make it super special. It
Uh-huh.
has been super special for me, and Joshua wasn't with me. He was in America. Then we were in Vienna, but I wanted to make it super special for him. I couldn't find the right place. Then we go on vacation and then look for the right spot. We were in the old city of Dubrovnik in the harbor. Dubrovnik is where the Game of Thrones was filmed as Croatia, and finally told him in the harbor of Dubrovnik.
Oh my gosh. So that's when you tell him you were pregnant, but then you take the test in the Alps on a gondola.
Yes,
That's
yes, yes.
amazing.
And then, Jamie, it was so beautiful because it was June and all the sheep had given birth to their little ones. So
Mm.
they were like horses had given birth. They were what are the horses called? The foals?
Huh?
Foals and what are the little sheep called?
Lambs?
Yeah, exactly. Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you. I can't think about things today. And lambs, and it was like utterly outwardly. So there was fertility all around. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember I came out of the hut and we went to sit down. They have a big round table. And there was a woman who was 8 or 9 months pregnant. She also had taken up the gondola and she was there, the big belly. There was just fertility all around. It was incredible.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Tell us how your pregnancy was.
Great. Great. I had, and there's an important part here. So I felt great all the time. I was not even sick once.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, nothing. As soon as I became pregnant, I signed up. I don't know if it still exists, but in Washington, D.C., at the George Washington Hospital, they had a midwife program.
Okay.
And maybe they still have it. And they were specialized in natural birth. And it was a very coveted program. Women totally wanted to get in. And as soon as I was pregnant, I put my name down on the wait list. And I actually got in. And honestly, there was a tiny bit of a misunderstanding because natural pregnancy, natural birth, for me meant no induction, no C-section, plain C-section. That's what it meant for me. I did not get the memo that it means absolutely no medication. So So that part I only discovered when I was already in the program, but then I stayed. And again, because I had signed up with them, so most of the women in that program were late 30s or at least mid 30s to mid 40s. They never put any pressure on me because of my age.
Oh, good.
I was super relaxed
Uh-huh.
during the pregnancy. I did not feel that did not make any difference. I never heard anything about my age. Yeah. So I could just relax, take it easy, and
Uh-huh.
enjoy my pregnancy.
Oh, that's great. Now, what about finding out the sex? Did you find out the sex during pregnancy?
Yeah. And I cried.
Oh, tell us the story.
Uh, I knew I'm going to have a girl. And when I say I knew, it's not that I expected it. I knew. I was 150% sure it's going to be a girl. There's no other way. I'm going to have a girl. I wanted her. I really wanted her. My friends, and one of them is psychic, and yes, yeah, the girl. Okay. I go in to the appointment. You could already see the sex. I'm there by myself. And the technician says to me, would you like to know the sex of your baby? And I say, I know it's a girl anyway. And she looks at me and says, no, it's not. And I'm thinking, my God, what does she know? She's so wrong. Yeah, the technician, she is so wrong. Yeah, she has no idea. I didn't say anything to my husband. That may have been at week 10, 11. So I didn't say anything to him until we go, because I'm still thinking it's a girl, for week 20, the big checkup. We are there and she confirms it's a boy. And Jamie, on one hand, I was super happy. Hey, listen, I have a healthy baby boy. Yeah. But that aside, when I found out it's not my girl, I grieved her. I don't know if that makes any sense, but I know I was supposed to have a girl. I grieved her for years.
Yeah.
I could not stop thinking of her. There's a soul that was supposed to come to me and it didn't. And then I thought, where could she be? Is she with someone else? Did she come through someone else's body? There was just a soul connection to a girl, and I grieved her for
Yeah.
years. I cried. But when at 20 weeks, I was very happy, healthy baby boy. Yeah. I did not want him to be a girl. This boy is a boy as they come. Yeah. So I did not want him to be a girl, but I wanted my girl.
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes any sense, but there was such a soul connection that I grieved her and I looked for her.
Yeah.
I thought if she's meant to be mine, she'll come. I was always very open. In fact, I thought I would rather adopt than have my own child. But even the adoption thing, it didn't come through. We
Yeah.
did not really go. I just thought maybe somebody knows somebody, she'll come to me in this life another way, but that hasn't happened yet.
No, I can totally relate because I thought I was going to have two girls also. So I really understand you have it in your head. You are going to have a girl. There's no other option. And then you hear boy, and you're like, wait, my brain really needs to understand this first.
The brain, but also I feel like the soul. There was a
Yeah.
soul connection. There was
Yeah.
something, and she just didn't come this lifetime.
Yeah. What about your pregnancy? Was there any product or anything that you could recommend that helped with pregnancy?
Honestly, sorry, I can't. Yeah, because I just literally, I was not even once sick. I had a very uneventful, beautiful pregnancy. And then I went into labor, and because of the midwives, yeah, they gave me enough time. There was never any pressure. Yeah. They did a few other things that I thought was not so cool because what we did do though, it was you were giving birth with the midwives, however, not at home, but in the hospital. So if something would have gone wrong, the doctors would have been not far away and a C-section, whatever. So it was in the hospital, but because it was run by the midwives, they give you all the time in the world. If the shift ends, fine, then the next one comes. You're not pressured in time or told now because your doctor goes home. He is now more eager to do a C-section
Mhm.
before he goes home. There was none of that. Yeah. There was only one time the age came in because I was at 40 weeks and they said that I should not go much over the 40 weeks. But actually one night we checked into the hospital and spent the first night and then they put a strip onto the cervix.
Okay.
That started a few hours later, started with the labor.
Okay.
It was not the drip, the what is it called?
Pitocin?
Thank you very much. It was not that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They're
But it
probably
was
dilating the cervix, probably.
yeah, whatever that was. Yeah. It started the labor,
Mm-hmm.
and then I remember it became intense quickly. Like at 3 o'clock it started, and by 5 or so it was very intense. And I told them to check my cervix, and they were like, "Oh no, this is not even active labor yet." And I'm like, "If this is not active labor, I want nothing to do with it. Yeah, give me the epidural." Because you can ask for it. It's not that you can't, but you can. So they said, no, wait a little, wait a little. So they coached me through it. But after some time, I said, no, if this is not active labor, then it's like, I want to have an epidural.
Mm-hmm.
And they checked. That was not active labor. I was 9 centimeters dilated.
Wow.
Yeah, they just told me it's not active labor. I'm like, see? See? See, I knew it. It was too late for the epidural. It was like 6:30 in the evening, and I think I was really getting somewhere with the birth. There was this time of being really calm. I freaked out a little bit when they told me I cannot have the epidural. And one of the nurses said to me, it was not the midwife, one of the nurses said to me, and I said something like in my panic, I said, "Oh no, what can we do? What can we do to get the baby out?" And she looks at me and very lovingly says, "There's nothing we can do. Only you can do that." For whatever reason, that really calmed me down. I was like, oh, okay. So I am in charge. It's me. It's my body. And then I took deep breath, and for whatever reason, this really centered me. Before that, I was a little freaked out because I wanted something other, but then the power was with me again.
Yeah.
So I took the power back and I became very calm, which they often say this is before the baby comes, it gets really calm. I remembered a Native American saying, I do not know the tribe, pardon me, but that is that the mother, when she's giving birth, she goes to the stars to retrieve the soul of the baby. That's exactly what I did. I said to put me down on a stool or whatever there was the chair is called. I became very calm and I went to the stars to retrieve the soul of my baby and came back. Then something happened, and this is why I know how incredibly important it is to have the right team with you when you give birth. As a birthing mother, you are extremely sensitive to the
Yes.
energies, to what's going on. At 7, there was a shift change. My team and the midwife that I really liked needed to go, and in comes a woman, and she looks at me, and I distinctly remember, Jamie, I thought, wow, she brought cold energy. I was like, wow, she feels cold. And that was the new midwife.
Oh.
I really believe if the old troop would have stayed, I would have had him within the next hour, maybe hour and a half.
Ugh.
Yeah, it took another 5 hours until he was then born. It was after midnight at 1 something in the morning, but he was born, and all these breathing techniques that I did before, hypnotic birthing, it really didn't work for me so well. That went out the window. It was a completely 100% natural birth. I did not have any medication, and it was very empowering. However you do it, it's just an incredible experience. An incredible experience that can bring a couple so much closer together. I find this absolutely unreal that you can have sex and 9 months later there is a real human.
Yeah.
And it's all grown in a woman's body. It's built inside a woman's body. It's miraculous.
Yeah.
Really miraculous.
Yeah.
And then I was the mom of a baby boy.
Did the midwife put him on your chest? What happened after
Yes,
that?
yes. So we left the umbilical cord intact for a few more minutes. It was immediately skin to skin. One of the nurses, she rubbed his head because there was a little bit of fluid, and I was thinking, hey, get away from my child. Yeah. Don't touch him, don't do that. But anyway, we had skin to skin, and we did not leave him. He was never out of our sight. He was always with us. He was either on me or on my husband for all the times because it was a night birth. They gave me 2 more nights at the hospital.
Oh, okay.
I actually liked because they bring you the food, they bring you everything, and it was in the middle of winter, so it was actually nice.
How was your recovery after that?
Relatively easy. Did I need some stitches? Yeah, but they do this right away.
Yeah.
You get numbed up anyway, and you just had the baby, so it's like almost who cares?
Yes.
I just had a baby, yeah. Just do your job and do it well. The recovery was good. I don't remember any complications. Any complications.
That's
Then
great.
coming home, my parents were in Europe. My dad was already deceased at the time. So my whole family there was nobody coming because they were all in Europe. My husband's family, they're in Chicago, so nobody came to help. That was a little bit difficult. No, one family member came to help, but was not so helpful. Let's put it that way. That's all I can say.
I understand.
After the first week, a friend came and that was super helpful. She really then took charge and was very helpful. So if anybody can have some help, I highly recommend it.
Definitely. How did you choose to feed your baby?
I wanted to breastfeed, which was not easy because I didn't have enough milk.
Mm.
On day 11, so we went to the birthing center and get some lactation consultation. He just would not. It's actually not true. He did latch on, but on day 11, the poor boy could not stop crying.
Oh.
So I did what I could. I tried to nurse him, and he was inconsolable all day long, just crying. So I called the midwife and I said, "What should I do? What should I do? What should I do?" And she says, "Do you still have when you go to when you give birth in DC, it's that they give you a bottle of Similac or a couple of bottles of Similac, the formula." I had brought it home thinking I'm never gonna use it, but she says, "Try a bottle of the Similac and see if he is hungry." And I swear to you, we give him that. Yeah. I wanted to exclusively breastfeed, but we give it to him and he is instantly calm. He was hungry. I didn't have
Oh.
milk.
Oh.
So he was just hungry.
Yeah.
What I ended up doing for the next 8 months is half.
Okay.
I did formula and I did breast as much as he could get out of the boobies. I know now is actually how important it is to check the ingredient list, the formulas, how much sugar is in
Yeah.
them. That already makes the baby metabolically unhealthy and craving sugar all the time. He burped and farted a lot, so he had digestive issues. We went to a hypersensitive formula, but I wish I would have done a little more research on what exactly are in those. I stopped altogether when he was 8 months old, and then he transitioned to solid anyway.
Gotcha.
So he was maybe 3 months old, Hunter. It was in the summer, so he was born in February. So then he was like July, whatever. He was 4 months old, whatever it was. And we are going to an event. It was at the farm, to something outdoorsy with him in Maryland. And there's a lovely woman standing next to me, and we are having a conversation. And she's very complimentary and what a little cute baby this is and how great it is, blah, 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 blah. And I said something that gave away my age. At that time, I'm 44 with a little bit of nice hairdo. Nobody could see that I'm 44. She didn't either. Until I said something that made her realize I must be older than she thought. Yeah. I swear to you, immediately she was like, "Oh, are you mom or grandma?" That did not cross her mind before. Yeah.
What did you say?
I don't remember. I said something about something that happened in the 70s. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
When I was watching, it's not the moon landing that happened in the 60s, but something, yeah, I don't remember. And she was like, "Oh, like all of a sudden I went from mother to grandmother. Nothing changed. I looked exactly the same thing. Nothing
Right.
changed." Yeah. So it is always just the perception of the person who is talking to you. It's not has anything to do with you, because I look the same as I did a minute ago when she thought I'm mother. Yeah. They just judge the world from where they are.
Yep.
We all do that. Yeah. Judge the world from where they are. So it has nothing to do with you.
Yeah.
I was never asked if I'm grandmother,
Yeah.
besides that one.
Did y'all decide not to have more? What happened after that?
Oh, yeah. No, I would have liked to, but my husband was too stressed out.
Okay.
Just very glad that you bring this up. Thank you. That's the point I wanted to make. Joshua was he was stressed because he became the sole provider. I stayed home with Hunter. Yeah. So I was mother primarily, and my husband who loves to provide. Yeah. But there were things going on in the job and just having that much pressure and being a young new father himself that it would have not been the right time to push it in the first 2 years, 3 years, when I really would have liked to. He was just not ready. It would have been too much for him. And then I was 48. I thought, yeah, okay. Then I came around only having one, and then I got the cancer diagnosis.
Ugh. And you're
Was
completely
that.
shifted. Yeah.
Then I had something other on my mind.
Yeah.
I would have liked to. Like
Yeah.
we love being parents. We love it. I look around my table, I just see Hunter. I wish there would be more children. I really wish we have a dog, but that's it. And Joshua says, yeah, I'm so sorry. I could not do it back then. After the cancer, became a
Yeah. You were
yeah.
fighting for your life. I totally
Yeah. So
understand
I
that.
wanted to please make one point here that maybe also your audience can relate to a lot. That when you have a child, in general, it totally changes your life. That is true whether you have it at 44 or at 24. That doesn't matter. But I think the more life you have lived, the more we become used to living a life without children, without that kind of focus on another being, that kind of responsibility, just a time commitment,
Uh-huh.
yeah, to have another child.
Yeah.
And what helped me, and I'm saying this because I just had a lovely email from a woman who tried for 10 years with IVF and it
Uh-huh.
didn't work. Last try. So they have a child and beautiful, healthy baby, all good. But you're so surprised how much life changed.
Yeah.
It's incredible. Nobody really can prepare you for that. And what really helped me when I was struggling of all of a sudden, I can't leave the house without 500 bags from diapers to bottles and the baby and the stroller and the whatever else. I cannot just go out there with my case and my dog. That I always told myself, don't look back. Don't look back. Or for example, traveling became such a big different thing.
Yeah.
Traveling before child and then traveling with him. Yeah. Now that he's so old, it's easy again. But for the first 5, 6 years, I always told myself, don't look back. There was a different life. Don't look back because that would mean I compare what I have right now with what it was back then. And then it's that the grass is always greener syndrome. And that makes you very unhappy
Yes.
potentially. Yeah.
Yes.
So I always say, don't look back and don't look sideways. Because the next thing that happens with us is most of my friends in Austria, actually all of them, had their children a lot sooner than I did.
Huh?
Yeah. So for many at 44, they already had the children out of the house. So of course their life is full of freedom again.
Yeah.
Their life is like, oh yeah, now they can do the things that I could do until a year ago before I had Hunter. So I think it's just when we have children later in life, it's important, or it really helped me to think, don't look back and don't look sideways to the people that are our age, because their life can be vastly different and on the outside also easier
Yeah.
for some time at the beginning, because it's such a huge difference
Yeah.
when you have a child or not.
Yeah, definitely. What has been your biggest challenge being pregnant in your 40s?
Honestly, I didn't have any.
That's great. That's
Yeah,
great.
yeah.
Yeah.
That is relatively boring, my story in that regard. I just really, I loved it. I loved the idea. Yeah, I really had a wonderful time.
That's great.
Once I fell down the stairs when I carried a big basket because I took a wrong step, but that was not pregnancy related. That just happened during pregnancy. So for
Yeah.
a little bit I was on crutches, but that has nothing to do with pregnancy.
Yeah.
That was me not seeing the step because I had a big basket in front of
Yeah.
me.
Is there anything you'd recommend that would help prepare someone for pregnancy or birth over 40?
Yes, don't give away the power to the person who shows up with the most certainty. Meaning, there may be super well-meaning, nice, experienced people in the medical field, yeah, that they really think they're doing everything right and they have your best interest at heart, yeah, when they say whatever they say, and they have the stats and they have the conviction and they've been doing it and they're showing up with the most certainty. If you get a recommendation that in your heart to heart feels not right, then I beg you to really examine and trust your instincts. These are lovely people. Some of them really have bedside manners, yeah, and are not the right people to be in that profession, but that happens in any kind of profession. But in general, don't give your power to the person who shows up with the most certainty.
That's awesome. What advice would you give yourself when you were pregnant if you could go back?
I think I did this really right because I just enjoyed it. And what I was able to do is really scale back from work. I figured this is a one or maybe two times experience in my life, and I wanted to really enjoy it and be there for it. I understand that this is super privileged to have this opportunity because I have a husband who is willing and able to be the sole provider. Yeah. So I
Mhm.
understand that. And especially not if you do this on your own, then you don't have that opportunity. Yeah.
Yeah.
But whatever you can do to make this time a time between you and your child. This is a union. When the child grows inside your body, this is a bond and a union, a time that will never come again. Because as soon as they're outside your body, it's not the same. It's not a unity.
Yeah.
You are a unity as long as the baby grows inside you. As much as you can, please get some things in order so that make it easier for you to really be and enjoy the experience. I see that other friends, high flying jobs, there's nothing that she could do. But she was so stressed. She said, I have no idea where my pregnancy went because this job was so stressful. She says, I often, it was 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon and I realized I hadn't eaten.
Oh my goodness.
So it's a sacred time. It is potentially, maybe it's your only time. Maybe it's one of 2 or 3 times, but this is still like nothing in the scheme of things. The more you can be and have time for that experience, I think the more you will able also to enjoy it.
That's perfect. Is there anything else you want to mention?
I just really want to say that it is very important to realize that the chronological age is faulty, is really faulty. It still pisses me off to no end because there are millions of women around the world who will make great mothers, not despite their age, but because of their age. They're older, they're more mature, they're financially more stable, they're wiser, yeah, they're usually emotionally more stable. We have worked stuff out in our 40s. Nothing to say that women in the 40s, they're not stable or anything. But like when you're young, you figure out life. It takes a lot of energy and a lot of focus. But then once you enter your 30s and especially your 40s, you have figured out a lot of your stuff. All of these things make for great mothers. The best mothers that a child could ever wish for having. But us women over 40 are often made to feel less than fertile, less than deserving. We are shamed for having waited too long, be so career driven and all these kind of things, which in reality is really a lot of BS. Yeah. Because we are not so career oriented, where the most of us are holding out for love. to find the right partner to have the children with. Yeah. It's not that we forget to have them. In all my interviews, only one woman said that, oh, I forgot to have children because I had such a great career. Great for her, but there was only one. Yeah. But we are felt that way, made to feel that way because we're all put together in one big group and judged by a number that is our chronological age. We are all put together regardless of our upbringing, of our health, of our history, of our current socioeconomic status, of anything. It's just by the chronological age. And that is inherently wrong. So if anybody makes you feel bad about your age, you have permission to really push back, because this is also very old medicine. Yeah? Because today we know that there is a huge difference in between chronological age and biological age. Chronological age being determined by the day you were born. I was born, so that makes me 56. Biological age is the true age of your tissues, of your cells, how they are functioning, how they are behaving. And that biological age is not fixed. It's not just going up. It depending on lifestyle and the choices that we make on every day. Biological age can go up or down, reverse. And we have a lot of agency over our biological age. I just did a whole TEDx talk on this topic that we are linking to in the show notes below as well. I did a whole TEDx talk on how to age well or even age in reverse, based on all the science that we now have about biological age, and we can now measure biological age, which was not possible until 2013 when the first scientist came up, is called Stephen Horwath, with the Horwath clock. It was the first time that we could measure biological age. Just think back when you went to your 20th high school reunion. This is usually when people can see, oh wow, oh, she looks exactly the same as she did when she was 20. And then you turn around and look at a guy thinking like, whoa, what happened to him?
Yeah.
People don't age the same way. It is so far, this is not covered by insurance. And usually it is a blood test. We have to work with a company that offers those blood tests. And these are usually companies that are doing big blood panel and analyzing all kind of blood work, and then give you recommendations on what you should do, supplements to take, workout regimens, and so on. And part of that is they also measure your biological age. The first ones, I do blood draw usually. Yeah. I also tested once where it was just a prick in the finger, finger prick. Some of them do also saliva swabs, but I've never done that. But usually it's a test that you have to pay for.
Okay.
That is super important to know.
There's not one way to extend this or dial the clock back, right? Like everybody can do it differently.
We have so many biohacks. Yeah. So many strategies out there that people see, from red light therapy, the red light masks, to cold plunges, to old supplement or NID, IVs and such. But here's really the most important thing is that you remember that if you want to lower your biological age, which I think is super important conversation in connection with fertility. Yeah. I've spoken to women that reversed their menopause. Yeah. They went into and reversed it and had a child after that. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
There's a lot of things that we can do. But for the beginning, what is really important is to remember that fertility is just an extension of overall health. We cannot just look at fertility in this tiny area, around our midsection here. If we just do ovary stimulation or whatever, this is not enough. We need to look at fertility as a part of the whole body, of the whole system. And the healthier the whole system is, the healthier fertility becomes. That first we need to focus on the fundamentals. The real magic is not in the biohacks. It's not in the gimmicks. It's not in the fad. The real magic is in the basics, meaning mindset. We spoke about this a lot today. Nourishment, food, nourishment, the foods that either nourish your body or damage your body. We do this every single day with all the food choices that we make. It's either nourishing or damaging. So it's nourishment, it's movement. We all know that we need to move more, and especially important if you work on your biological age, if you want to extend your fertility also for longer, prolong it for longer. Yeah. Sleep is incredibly important for rejuvenation. Yeah. A really good sleep protocol that makes you sleep for your 8 hours, whatever that means to you, whatever you need to do. But the 8, 9 hours of sleep, super, super important. Stress reduction. This is, I think, what happened to me when I took the pressure off, like working with your nervous system, really learning how to shift your nervous system from fight, flight, fear, which is a state that we are in so many more times every single day than we even realize. Yeah. Just reading the news. You should stay away from the news if you want to get pregnant, please. Just reading the news can put you into a fight, flight, freeze state.
Yeah.
The more we learn to shift from that state to the parasympathetic nervous system, where this is the only time when the body then can really focus on rest, repair, and procreate. We have to focus on the parasympathetic nervous system. The more we learn to shift from here to there, the better for fertility, the better for lowering your biological age. So it's the mind, it's those 5 things, and the toxicity, of course, getting the toxins out of your environment. So those 5 fundamentals are fixed with the mindset. And then there is a community aspect also, when it's a longevity booster community that you hang out with the people, you like-minded people. This is why when they're listening to your podcast, this is community.
Yeah.
This is the part also that helps with longevity, that helps with health in general, and extending your, not just your lifespan, but also your health span. Super important. These are the fundamentals. There's no one thing. Yeah. Because I cannot now say, oh yeah, eat this and that, or this or this. Because if I say like broccoli is great for me, broccoli may not be great for you.
Sure.
And you can absolutely reverse your biological age. I've been doing it since 2019. I did what you are doing now with the podcast. I interviewed women that had their first children in their 40s and shared their stories in the joy of later motherhood. I brought that all together in a book, back in 2018. And that's why it's really important to me, and it's lovely. Thank you very much that you invited me on to speak to your audience on your podcast, because I know that these stories really change lives. I hear this every day. You can get it anywhere around the world on Amazon, which is so easy with the books. I know how it changes women's lives when they hear the stories of other women who have gone before them.
Yeah, definitely.
And we're all here with you on your podcast because we want to share and help and bring joy and love to the woman that is going through it right now.
And that is the book that you're sharing with our listeners for free, right?
Yes, thank you very much.
Yeah.
So that is for anybody who listens today. I would like to gift you the electronic version of The Joy of Later Motherhood. Amy is so kind to put the link in the description below. So just go to bettinagordon.com/joy.
Awesome.
I think it's a joy to be a later mother.
Would you like to give your social links and where our listeners can connect with you?
Yeah, please. I'm trying out to be on TikTok now with my 56-year-old. I'm on TikTok. I have my Instagram account, but Instagram is so slow, and on TikTok the growth is much faster. Yeah, It's Gordon.
Okay.
The handle is bettina.gordon. Same on LinkedIn, please. If this is more a professional thing, it's Bettina Gordon or bettina.gordon. And Bettina is B as a boy, Ettina. And here's again the book, The Joy of Later Motherhood. Please feel free to download it at bettinagordon.com/joy. And if you have any additional questions, just send me an email or DM me, and just say, hey, I heard you on Jamie's podcast, and I will take especially good care of you. I always do, but then especially if you come from Jamie. Let me know.
Bettina, thank you so much for sharing your story at 44.
It is so my pleasure.